Now, I do need a volunteer for this. Maybe Annette. Annette knows this song. You know what to do. Yeah, it's okay, you can stay there. It's got a chorus. I'll teach it to you when it gets to it. It came out of the dashboard, barely 2 feet from her face, as the heating fan inside the vent began to oscillate. She could not believe her eyes. She thought the vent had come alive. As the probing legs came blackly through the grate, and a spiky sheet of fear flew up her back, she fought to force her fingers to relax. But with one eye on the brake, she stabbed blindly at the brake, and the battered hull then skidded off the track. It squeezed past the plastic, fell forward with a plop. She screamed and watched it run back through the car. Like a herky-jerky doll, spring-loaded in a box, she catapulted through the door onto the tar, and the night air hit her body like a blow. It was very nearly 10 degrees below. On the back road to Carncoban from the lights of Jindabyne, she'd been running with the coming of the snow. This is the chorus, you can sing along with it. And it's somewhere in the car, Lord, it's somewhere in the car. The cabin light's not working and the night is deathly dark. You know there's matches somewhere, but you don't know where they are. And the bloody thing is somewhere in the car. Got it? All right, comes up again in a little while. She'd driven down from Sydney where it must have got on board. She knew it was a funnel web. She'd seen the things before, but they're rarely quite as large, or as ugly or as fast as the thing that she'd seen running on the floor. So she flipped the driver's rear door open wide, but the moon was gone. She couldn't see inside. Under the empty biscuit packets and discarded burger wrappers, there were far too many places it could hide. Ready? And it's somewhere in the car, Lord, it's somewhere in the car. The cabin light's not working and the night is deathly dark. You know there's matches somewhere, but you don't know where they are. And the bloody thing is somewhere in the car. So she walked round in front of the Holden as it lay there in the ditch like a wounded beast. She knew no one else was coming up the road from Carncoban that night, and she wondered what the hell she was going to do. Several feet of fallen tree had come in through the grill, and the one remaining headlight glimmered dimly in the chill. And the first few flakes of white spun and danced along the light as the blizzard came in howling from the hills. And the horror of her situation dawned. She knew she'd freeze unless she sheltered from the storm. With every nightmare that she'd known, she climbed back inside the Holden, driven by the desperation to be warm. Through the hours of the darkness, she stared into the blackness, every muscle in her body quivering in wild alarm. Every time she thought she heard it as it skidded through the papers, every time she thought she felt it on her arm. And the howling mountain blizzard wrapped its fingers round their prison, and the storm clouds blotted out the stars. Hell isn't hot at all, she thought. It's colder than the grave, and it runs on silent legs inside this car. Now the spider died at midnight, frozen by the alpine air, but as it fell down from the roof, there was a scream of wild despair, just like that. And the next day they found her there with a catatonic stare, and the funnel web still tangled in her hair. So they searched the woman's body for a bite. There was none, but she was dead and icy white. And the coroner said probably a stress-related coronary, 'cause he didn't want to say she'd died of fright. Ready? And it's somewhere in the car, Lord, it's somewhere in the car. The cabin light's not working and the night is deathly dark. You know there's matches somewhere, but you don't know where they are. Do ya? And the bloody thing is somewhere in the car. Now, there's a scientist on the Sunday Social page who's just been married to a girl who's half his age. While back in his laboratory at Sydney University, there's a funnel web that's missing from its cage. You got time for another one, Gary? Oh, no more scary songs. All right, that's a deal. Well, here's a tearjerker. I'm just going. Yeah. Why not? You can introduce it while I get wine.
Tearjerker. I love you guys.
G. This is a song by Amanda McBroom, who you all know, of course. She was the lady who wrote The Rose. Her dad was an actor in the old Errol Flynn movies, and this is a song she wrote about him. In a hole, on a wall, in the house in Reseda, there's a poster held up by 2 nails and a pin. It's my daddy, the actor, about to die with his boots on. He's the man standing up there beside Errol Flynn. He got 3rd or 4th billing at the end of each picture. Ah, but that don't mean much, he would say with a grin. But he hold my hand tight at the end of each picture, only 4 or 5 lines below Errol Flynn. Now fame, it is fleeting, and the stars, they keep falling and staying right up there. Well, that's the business of art. And luck kisses some and it passes by others. Disappointment and bourbon, a heart on the heart. Now the women and beers, years with old Errol, they took their toll. They took me from his side when he kissed me goodbye at the old Union Station. That's the last time I saw him, the last time I cried. Now I'm sitting alone in a house in Reseda, watching the late show as the moonlight streams in. And up on the screen, well, here comes my daddy. It's a sad, funny feeling, now I'm older than him. So your daddies and daughters, sons and your mothers, remember life's over before it begins. So love one another, stand close together, just as close as my dad did to old Errol Flynn. That's a lovely song. All right. Well, Gary, are you going to provide the sound effects for this one? Another one? Okay. Cool.
You were really crying.
I really was.
Told you it was a tearjerker. Okay, so this must be an A.
You want me to do this with you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is this Old Cowhand?
Yep.
Gary, you want to do clip claps?
Oh, yeah.
God, you can't get good help these days.
Very important.
So it's an
It just...
I've only got G clip flops.
Oh, maybe it's in D.
I don't think we do anything in A.
Okay, Powell.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it's in D.
D. That's it.
Daniel's really turned me on to cowboy songs, you know. There's some great cowboy songs.
I don't know where that comes from.
This is one of them. Oh, wait a minute. I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, but my legs ain't bowed and my cheeks ain't tanned. I'm a cowboy who never saw a cow, never rode the range 'cause I don't know how. I sure ain't fixin' to start it now. Yippee-i-o-ki-yay, I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, and I learned to ride before I learned to stand. I'm a riding fool who is up to date. I know every trail in the Lone Star State, 'cause I ride the range in my Ford V8. Yippee-i-o-ki-yay. Take it, Daniel. I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, and I come to town just to hear the band. I know all the songs that the cowboys know, got the big corral where the doggies go, 'cause I learned them all on the radio. Yippee-i-o-ki-yay, yippee-i-o-ki-yay, yippee-i-o-ki-yay. Thank you very much. I've been Fred Pilcher, he's been Daniel McFeely, he's about to be Daniel McFeely again. And we're going to take a 5-minute break for the changeover, and then it'll be your turn.
Yeah.